everyone, I'm Jennifer Camp and I'm with Paragon Realty, and welcome to my channel. This is my first video and I wanted to make a video about what to do before you get pre-approved. We get a lot of questions and emails as realtors saying, what do I need to buy a house? Well, here is tip number one. Check your credit. Check your credit. It's super easy to do. Nowadays there are free apps or free websites that you can go on and check your credit. You don't necessarily need to look at scores. That's the first thing that any lender or any realtor will probably tell you to do first. Check your credit. You just go on to websites like Credit Karma. There's also places like LifeLock or Identity Guard. What you're looking for on that credit report is things like, is your payments up to date? Also, go to freecreditreport.com. Once a year, freecreditreport.com will give you your full report. You don't need to look at your scores. You don't need to pay for your scores. None of that. You want to make sure all your accounts are accurate, all your accounts are up to date. If you closed an account, it needs to say that on the report. You need to look for any collections accounts. Do you have any collections? Number two, you need money in the bank. Money in the bank. Yes, you have to have money in the bank in order to buy a house. You have to have some type of money. And no, we're not talking about the closet money. We're not talking about grandma's under her mattress money. We're not talking about money that you can lend from so-and-so or money that you can get from your parent. Number one, you need money in the bank for a down payment. If you're not doing a zero down payment program, then you're gonna need at least 3.5% down. Also, you will need money for closing costs. You still need 3 to 4% down of the purchase price of the home for closing costs. Besides closing costs, before you actually close on the house, you will need money for inspection, which inspections are great. Not everybody chooses to do one, but they are awesome because a lot of times these inspection companies, this is what they do. So they find the nitty gritty. They find the little cracks and crevices or the pests or, you know, that the fireplace vent is messed up or whatever the case may be. These people do this for a living. So it is very important that you do an inspection so you know what kind of house you're getting into. Those inspections, they range in price. You can shop around for them, but you have to be prepared for that cost. Also, before you close, you will be asked to pay for an appraisal. An appraisal, again, per lender, those costs change. So check with your lender before you find a house. Lenders want to see that there is a buffer. Yes, buffer. They want to see that you are not down to zero after those. So they want to see a little bit of a buffer, even if it's a few $100s. They love to see that you can have all these fees taken care of and you still have a little bit of money. Tip number three. Tip number three is your income, your job. Where do you make the moolah? Do you have a W-2 job or do you have a 1099 job? Little side note. Jobs that have a 1099, it is going to take 2 years. 2 years of profitable income for a lender in most cases to approve you for a home. You cannot write off everything that you made, but when they get your income taxes, you wrote off every single bit of your income and now it says that you made $2,000 that year. Not gonna work. Of course, there are gonna be certain situations where somebody has a 1099 job and then they have a side job and then their spouse has a job and they still get approved without that profitable income. But in most cases, if that is your only income and that is your designated job, you will need 2 years of profitable income. But again, talk to your lender. I'm a realtor, not a lender, so we're just going off the basics. If you have a W-2 job, great, that's awesome. You're typically good to go. Switching jobs is not a big deal, not for most lenders. As long as you're going from one job to the next job, then you're pretty good. Yeah. If you're jumping from job to job to job, then you're really just gonna have to talk to your lender. They want to see that you've been at your job for a good amount of time. So have you been there at least 6 months? Of course, longer is better. And these banks, these lenders, these mortgage companies, they want to see that you are stable. They want to see you're stable financially. They want to see that you're stable in your job. So that ends your 3 tips. Number 1, check your credit. Number 2, have money in the bank and have a little bit of a buffer. Number 3, you need to make sure you know which type of job you have, whether it's a 1099 or a W-2. If you have a 1099, make sure that you have at least 2 years of profitable income. Make sure that you watch my next video next week on how to choose a lender and who do you go with and how do you know and what loan do I want to do. Bye y'all. Make sure you subscribe.